everyone, and welcome back to Strive Women in Fitness. Thank you guys so much for coming back today. I'm so excited to be filming another video for you guys. So today's video, as you guys can tell by the title, is my top 5 tips for how to change food from being a foe to a friend. And I think that this is something that a lot of people deal with. I know it's something that I've dealt with in the past and have really come a far way from being in a situation where I dreaded eating. I hated food because it scared me. I thought everything I was gonna put in my body was gonna ruin my body and make me sick and make me, gain weight and all of that nasty stuff. And I have learned a couple of ways that, at least for me, have helped a lot in, changing that mindset and turning food into something that I love and see as something that only benefits me. And I actually am back to a place where I can enjoy eating and enjoy meals that both I make and that I eat out and all of that. So I wanted to go ahead and share some of those tips with you guys, and I hope that you all enjoy. All right, so the first tip that I have for you guys to start making this mindset change from food being a foe to food being a friend is to see food as energy and to see food as something that fuels your body. So to take a couple steps back, I will admit I am a science person, so I look at a lot of this kind of stuff from a scientific perspective. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain the science to you guys a little bit. So I think for a lot of people, when we look at food, we might look at the nutrition facts and we see, calories. That is the scariest word for so many people. We look at that word and we see, oh my God, all I know is that if I eat too many calories, I will get fat. So first things first, that is not the case. So when you look at the word calorie with a capital C, it actually calculates in scientific terms to a kilocalorie, which is a unit of energy. So it's a way that we measure energy and energy expenditure. So in your body, when you are lying down, when you're sitting up, when you stand up to go to the kitchen, or when you breathe, or when you walk outside to your car, or anything that you do in your day, your body uses energy. Just our hearts beating require our body to make energy and to use energy that we have stored in our body. So first things first, even if you don't exercise and you sit on the couch all day, you are still using energy. Now the amount of that energy that you use will change as you add in more exercise and you add in more, normal daily activity. Like maybe, for example, instead of, going and sitting in your car during your lunch break, you go and take a walk or something like that. That is obviously gonna change the amount of calories that you are burning or using in a day. But when we boil it down to that scientific perspective, everybody, no matter what you're doing, burns energy and uses energy in our body. And while yes, our bodies can make some of their own energy, it requires us to eat in order to get that energy. So this is where I come down to my first tip of using food or seeing food as energy and as fuel. So if you want your body to perform, especially in an athletic sense, you need to eat and fuel it with food. And what that food might be in terms of carbs and fats and proteins and empty calories even, is something that I will get into in another video where I will go into depth about calculating macros and understanding the difference of the type of food that you guys should eat. But at its basic level, next time you go and look at a box of food, you're looking at the nutrition facts on something and you see the word calories, think of those as ways that food is fueling your body and giving it the energy that it needs to do something. So even if you're sitting on the couch, remember, you're still using energy. Maybe not a ton, but you're still using energy. So you need that food in your body to fuel your system and to keep you going. And this also comes into importance when you're looking at mental and cognitive function. If your body doesn't have enough energy to function physically, where, in terms of, having enough energy to walk or to, go take a run or go run to the market, anything like that, how in heaven's name is it gonna have enough energy to fuel your mind? So your brain and your neuron firing and all of that fun stuff requires energy as well. And for that energy, again, you need to put energy into your body to have it to use. So again, I will do a whole other video about the amount of that energy that you should be consuming, but at its base, to make food a more positive thing, look at it as an energy and a fuel for your body to do its daily functions and anything past that. So instead of seeing food and calories as something that's scary, switch that little mindset as to something that is only going to help you. All right, so moving on to tip number 2. This next tip is something that definitely takes a little bit of time to learn and to understand, but once you get it, I promise you will love it, and it will be a huge game changer in the way that you look at food. And that is listening to your body and understanding what your body wants, what it doesn't want, and maybe what your craving means for your body. So what I mean by this, there's a couple different kind of components to this. So the first thing is cravings. So we all get cravings, especially girls, especially around that time of month, we all get cravings. And honestly for me, I get cravings all the time. You know, I'll wake up some mornings and I will want nothing else but, you know, eggs and turkey bacon and avocado, and other mornings I'll wake up and just want to eat nothing but a bar of chocolate and, you know, some waffles. So it depends, every day is different, you know, everybody is different. And so a lot of times we get these cravings, and my number one thing is say yes to those cravings, because they're usually telling your body something. However, do it in a smart and nutritional way. A big thing for me with having a good relationship with food, and I think for a lot of people, is letting yourself eat what you want, and again, but doing so in a smart way. So let's say, for example, something like in the middle of the afternoon, you're just craving ice cream. It's post-lunch and you just want something super sweet. You want to go out, buy a pint of Ben & Jerry's and, you know, enjoy it. So great, honestly, in moderation, go ahead and do that. But if that's a craving you find that you have every day, that's a perfect option to find an alternative to that food. So for example, I have this delicious vanilla protein milkshake that I make. It's like less than 200 calories, has like 25 grams of protein in it, and trust me, it tastes delicious. So I will make that as an alternative to, you know, making ice cream. So I'm still feeling that sweet tooth and that craving for something that's, you know, sweet and creamy and cold and delicious, but I'm doing so in a way that's actually gonna make me feel good after, and I'm not gonna, you know, be worried or upset after I ate it. Not that there's anything wrong with eating a pint of Ben & Jerry's, but from personal experience, if you have kind of that negative relationship with food, doing something like eating a pint of Ben & Jerry's might not have the best after effects for your mentality and for your mental health. So if you can choose something that after you are gonna feel good about, you're gonna feel happy about, go for that option. And those options are available. It's just about kind of having that alternative for yourself kind of pre-set up so that you know, all right, if I get this craving, this is what I'm gonna do instead, and this is what I'm gonna make, so that I know that I feel good and I feel happy about it. All right, so my tip number 3 also has to do with this whole listening to your body thing, but it's in a little bit of a different sense. And this is to starting to figure out what foods actually make you feel good and don't. So I think a lot of people just, you know, eat foods, they eat their breakfast, eat their lunch, and it's normal that every single day after breakfast they have a headache. And, you know, or they get super bloated every day after lunch. And that just is what it is. It's how it works. It's how life goes. I will tell you guys, if you are eating foods that are good for your body and that are right for your individual body, not people in general, this should not be happening. So when I was little, I used to get headaches and tummy aches and everything in between, like every day after I would eat food. And in my mind, I was just like, you know what, whatever, like I just have a sensitive stomach and like this is just what's gonna happen. Well then, I started to slowly but surely take away foods, and I slowly started to realize that, hey, when I, you know, don't eat almond butter in the morning with my waffles and I choose peanut butter instead, I feel a lot better. And when I, you know, maybe buy the gluten-free waffles instead of the regular waffles, I feel a lot better. So I learned from a very young age that I was gluten intolerant. I'm also dairy intolerant, and I don't eat eggs, or I eat egg yolks, but I can't eat egg whites, and that is stuff that I learned, and I took kind of just through trial and error, and I found out that those foods don't make you feel good, so I don't eat them. And that is something that it takes a little bit of time, and it definitely takes time to, you know, take things out of your diet, see if you notice a change. But this is a super huge thing. If you don't have a good relationship with food, it could be coming from a completely subconscious idea that after you eat lunch, your stomach doesn't feel good. So yeah, you are probably gonna not enjoy eating lunch because you don't wanna dread that, you know, upcoming stomach ache. You know that you're gonna have an hour after you've eaten your lunch. So my thing is just be in tune with your body and, you know, start to realize those things that, you know, maybe if you are eating the same thing every day for lunch and, you know, something feels a little bit off every day, try to maybe take something away and see what it might be. And, you know, if you eat the same thing every day, and then one day you eat something different, and then you get super bloated afterward, take a second to think about, hey, what was in that might have not made me feel well. And I promise that if you feel good after you eat, and you don't feel bloated, and you don't get a stomach ache, you don't get a headache, you will enjoy the process of eating more, and it will become subconsciously a much more positive experience, which in turn will help it consciously become a more positive experience, and not something that you dread and don't want to do. All right, so tip number 4 is moving on to a little bit of the opposite side of the spectrum, as opposed to, a lot of people have issues with foods in the regards that they, don't eat enough, or they are scared to eat and are scared of foods. And the other option, or the other kind of, end of that spectrum, is people who just choose the wrong option, and, or, are scared of food because they're afraid that, they know that they're choosing the option that's not gonna make them feel good, and that, isn't gonna benefit their body or help them reach their goals. And even things so as far as, binge eating. And I will be completely open and honest with you guys. I have struggled, again, like I said in my intro video, I would not consider myself to have had a fully fledged eating disorder. However, I had disordered eating, and a lot of it did lean more towards the binge eating side of things. And the key with this that I really found was having food pre-made and readily available, so that, a lot of times, for at least for me, yes, a lot of, disordered eating is linked to emotional issues, and it was usually a response to emotion. However, or at least for me, I know when I, would get into like those kind of binge eating cycles, it usually was after a period of time that I hadn't eaten anything for quite a while, and I was hungry, and because of my emotions, instead of making the decision to go make myself a healthy meal and be sustained and be filled and be fueled, I would go for something else, and I would wind up kind of binging on it. And so that is, again, the whole opposite side of the spectrum. But my main thing to help with this and to kind of better that relationship is to have food pre-made and pre-ready, and snacks that you enjoy and that are good for you, ready to go, easy to eat, so that if you start to get into that kind of like, I just eat food, like I'll eat whatever I can kind of mode, maybe you have a pre-prepped meal in your fridge that you can grab and eat that, and then after you eat that, you're gonna feel a lot better, and you're gonna be like, oh, wait, like I actually feel good after eating that, and I don't feel now like I need to go and binge on something else that I maybe, don't want to eat. So that sums up tip number 4. And then the final and last tip that I have, that is something that honestly changed my whole entire perspective on food, was tracking what I ate. And this is kind of a double-edged sword, because for some people it helps them, and for some people it doesn't, because it makes them stress out more. So I will express to you guys how tracking helped me, and hopefully it'll work for you too. But I will be completely upfront and say that I will not guarantee that, tracking is gonna help all of your problems, because like I said, it helped for me. I know for some other people it doesn't. So for me, in the past, a lot of my disordered eating and stuff came from a lack of control in my environment, a lack of control in what I was eating and in what I was able to make for myself. And, I had limited kitchen space, and I had, limited resources to food. And so it was really hard for me to kind of be able to distinguish that, what can I actually eat? What can I make for myself? And so I would get stressed, and I would wind up, having a bad relationship with food. So when I started to track food, I've pre-laid out ahead of time what I needed to eat in a single day, and how I was gonna eat that, how I was gonna make that, and all of that kind of in between. So why this helped me was because it gave me structure. It gave me, I need to eat this much. And also because for a lot of people, the numbers become really scary of like, oh my God, well, I'm probably eating too many calories, or I'm eating too many carbs, or, whatever that might be. If you have it mathematically calculated, for yourself to lose weight, gain muscle mass, or just maintain even, which is what I was doing. I just put myself on macros that were just for maintenance, not for any sort of, exercise purpose. And through tracking, I was able to gain a lot of control with my food environment. And through doing that, I was able to, create food to have a positive thing and a positive impact on me, because I knew that, it was my goal to reach that X amount of calories by the end of the day, and that X number of protein, and that X number of carbs. And, I made sure to reach those numbers, started to realize that, you know, my body just to function needed a certain amount of nutrients and calories, that started to turn around by, you know, way that I saw food, because I was able to be completely in control and I knew exactly what my body needed and I gave it that, and no more, no less, and you know, I did that. After that process, a lot of people are able to kind of move into more of a positive style of intuitive eating, where they kind of know what their body needs to function and they're able to kind of, you know, guesstimate the amount of food that feels good for them based on their body. But I know for me, especially for that starting point, tracking and kind of getting myself set up on that platform of, you know, my body needs this much to function, so I'm gonna make sure that I give it that, really helped put a positive light on food and how I was eating and all of that. So that sums up my 5 tips to help change food from being a foe to a friend. And I will be doing a video, like I said, all about macros and how to calculate your own macros and correct macros so that you are not eating 1,000 calories a day, because I promise nobody should be eating 1,000 calories a day. You should be eating much more than that, I guarantee it. And I will be doing a video all about all of that kind of stuff coming up very soon. And if you are at a point where you feel like you are really stuck with your nutrition and you just have no idea where to start, or like even what kind of foods you should be eating, let alone macros or anything like that, please send me a email. My email is linked down below, or DM me on my Instagram and let's chat. I would love to have a phone call with you and kind of, you know, talk about maybe if I can help you get to the point where you want to be. That's what I want to do as a person, and I would love to be able to help people who have been in the situation that I have been in, get out of those situations, because they're not a fun place to be in, and I promise you'll be much healthier and much happier if you have a positive outlook on the food that you're eating and have a positive relationship with all of that. So anyway, not to keep this video going for any longer than it needs to be, or it already is, I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram for kind of my daily life, and also be sure to click the subscribe button if you would like to see more upcoming videos, and I cannot wait to come back for my next video. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye. Mwah.